Video game guns in real life.
Call of Duty War at War. One of the best World War II video games ever made. And the best part is they had all the freaking guns historically accurate to the most part, including the LMGs. What we're going to do is compare the LMGs from War at War to the real life counterparts to see if they really did them justice or just another set of Call of Duty guns.
Scraps suck!
LMGs.
Alright. Alright everyone, welcome to Seaman Land. Today's going to be one of my favorite episodes. World at War LMGs. Now technically the bar isn't... But in the game...
It's an LMG. What the fuck is shooting?
Now wait a second, C-Man. We gotta show them how it compares to War at War before we shoot it. The bar. The War at War called it an automatic machine gun. War at War only had one attachment for the bipod, but C-Man will tell us more about the other ones.
You've got a flash hider. It's not just a cone, nothing crazy. And then right here you got your bipod. Now this thing's a lot of adjustments and a lot of wing nuts. Very finicky and time consuming to adjust. So the soldiers would actually most of the time just take them off because they were really heavy.
War at War actually nailed this feature on the bar, literally replicating the bipod perfectly, except for the deployment time.
Alright, here's your gas system right here. Gas goes straight down into the piston. And of course you got your adjustments right here. Oh, check this out, Dalton. See that small dot? Small dot toward the top is the smallest setting for the least amount of gas. Medium setting. And then this is for like adverse conditions or
so it's going to send that bolt back real hard.
Yeah. Alright, notice right here the giant handguard. Gives you a lot of clearance from the barrel for when you're shooting a lot. And it also gives you a really good grip for when you want to hip fire.
Now the bar is actually the most accurate statted LMG in World at War.
The magazine, the release for it is right here. You actually push forward in the trigger guard, and then the mag just drops straight out.
Hard to tell, but looks like World at War nailed it.
20 rounds at 30-06. Now compared to the M1 Grand, that's more than double the capacity. And I'm making it full auto and giving it a lot of firepower. So that's what made it such a really prized system for World War II and the Americans. This one's a non-reciprocating charging handle.
As you can see, the charging handle is moving with the bolt, which is wrong.
So you can cock it all the way back, exposing the bolt. It is open bolt, so the bolt stays back. You push this charging handle back forward, and you can put your hand here while shooting. It's not going to move. For your selector here, you got S for safe, A for automatic, and F for fire. On the M1918A2, this is the walking fire, or also known as the slow fire. And of course you got this little plunger, so you can't push it back to safety on accident.
You thirsty, partner?
Now World at War includes this by having the double tap perk. As it sounds, it makes your gun shoot faster if you have it, and if you don't, it's got the standard fire rate.
The real life and War at War side pictures are almost identical, except for a missing front sight hood. The bar does have an alternative long-range sight, which World at War has modeled, but you can't use it. Now for the time we've all been waiting for, to shoot the bar.
This is the M1918A2 BAR. And let's just say we're not buying those Germans a drink. Just as smooth as the games.
Indeed, Water War really did nail the bar. The feel and sound of it. They did a really good job.
That's the BAR, guys. A really smooth shooting gun, but very heavy. And with sustained fire, the barrel likes to burn out. So it's an awesome gun. Only holds 20 rounds. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on. Go. The Type 99 LMG. This was the Japanese most produced machine gun during World War II. It is a very, very overlooked weapon system. It's actually probably one of the best LMGs of World War II, being based on the ZB-26 and of course Naboo's design himself.
Now, World War had the Type 99 labeled as a light machine gun, which is actually completely accurate, so well done. World War only had two attachments for the Type 99, the bipod and the bayonet.
You got this really actually nice bipod. It's got a bunch of positions, and of course...
Now, the bipod needed to be unlocked to be deployed. With World War, I noticed was able to deploy the bipod, but it wasn't using the locking the detent on the actual gun. Now, they also have the bayonet, which is weird because you need to equip the bayonet or the bipod. You can't have both like the actual Type 99, but that's a game rule. Still, they nailed it. It looks, I don't know if it's the right bayonet. I think they need to check.
Now, the Japanese had a really cool aesthetic, really boxy, really lot of cool curves on the systems. We got our flash hider here, kind of more just a director at that point.
Only problem is it didn't hide the flash in World War. In real life, it does actually a pretty good job.
Of course, you got the giant fluted barrel, or, excuse me, heat cooling fins to help cool the system.
Okay, they got that one right.
You've got your 25 round top feeding magazine. Lock mag with a giant paddle right here. You can palm it out, get your new mag, rock it in, and you're ready to go.
It looks like World War got it most of the way right. They just forgot to push the charging handle back forward. In real life, you want to make sure you push it back forward so it doesn't jam the bolt.
So a very nice comfy charging handle, and it does have an adjustable gas system. Of course, you get your telescoping charging handle. You see these little things right here? This is why it's telescoping. It's got those segments, just like that. And then push it back forward, and it's non-reciprocating.
World War still got the Type 99 reciprocating, even though in real life it's non-reciprocating. See there, the bolts moving while firing, which weird enough, they got it right for when it's mounted, just like the bar. I think it must be like an animation error. I'm not sure.
It's an open bolt LMG. We've got a dust cover right here. Since this was in the jungle, they wanted to keep the action clean, so they had a dust cover for the ejection port, and of course, when you don't have a mag in, with a mag as well. And you need to use it, pop that open, and then get your mag inserted. Boom.
And World War is missing the bolt dust cover popped up, but not the mag cover one. They did that right.
And it's got this really nice curve for good prone shooting. And that's for your dust cover. So on the charging handle, well, you have a safety, you can't charge it. Just like that. See how it goes in there?
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Very, very well thought out gun.
Yeah, actually, here's the monopod mount for the Type 99. Yes, the Japanese used monopods, so technically it made your bipod into a tripod with the whole gun mounted setup. World War actually got this in the weapon model, but you can't use it in game, I don't think. They pretty much nailed the sights, but there's some differences, and I'll have to see and show you.
Yeah.
So we got no elevation here, 200 meters, 300, and it goes all the way up, see that rear sight moving, all the way up to 1,500 meters. Now I don't think there'd be any engaging any targets like that. Normally in World War II, there'd just be like right here engaging enemies in ambush. What's really cool about the Type 99 is this right here below that rear aperture, it's a little white dot. they would have a radiation paint or type of vials in there, here in the rear, and the front sight right there. Right in the front sight blade, if you see that. Got that.
Oh yeah, just nice to.
And
Oh, I do got it.
it's got a giant tritium vial, so you can actually line those two up for nighttime shooting.
They had night sights on the
Yeah, they had night
World War
sights.
II.
Exactly, I think that's crazy.
All right.
Now it's time to see if Water Roll really captured how the Type 99 fires in real life. Water War nailed it.
I'll scream something and then start running.
Russian LMG.
Water War nailed the DP-28 as an LMG, but the name itself is wrong, and the weapon we have to show in real life is also wrong, so let's get into that.
The Russian DP-28 LMG. This thing's freaking rad. You know, I could.
It's not actually
The DP-28. It's not.
What is it?
Yeah, in the game it's the DP-28. Sadly, we got the coaxial tank version, so maybe not sadly. This is the DTM, but this is the closest thing we got. Anyway, still got the awesome pie magazine on top, where we can eat dinner, of course, and keep it warm. It's pretty cool, because this was directly mounted inside the tank. That one right there, actually, the T-34, right here. You can get coaxial or bow mounted right here. You can pull this bad boy out if the tank goes down, and now you have a gun to use. So they took the tank gun, took it off the mount right here in the tank, and they attached this whole bipod assembly with the front sight using this little wing nut right here. And that gives it more easy to use an infantry role.
Gives you a sight in general. Like,
Exactly.
you weren't even gonna aim with it without a sight.
Yeah, I mean, you could try and use tracers like they did in the tank, but
The only attachment Water War had for the DP-28 was just the bipod, and I guess, yeah.
so we got the bipod right here for infantry and the really crude sights, but it works. I mean, you get rear aperture and front sight and you're ready to go. The rear sight here, funny enough, you actually do have elevation adjustments for 400, 600, 800, and 1,000 meters. Just by adjusting just like that, up and down, and it locks. I'm surprised they have it on this tank variant.
Now the DTM has a different sight picture than the DP-20 depicted in World Out Wars.
With this one, you got the extended thicker mag for more ammo. I believe it's 71 rounds, if I'm not mistaken. Because this was the tank gun, so this was a lot thicker than the normal DP-28 mags. So it's almost double the size, and I think...
And since they're both pi magged, we can compare the reloads still pretty effectively. And which Water War nailed, but here's a couple more differences before we shoot it.
Tip the butt thread protector up here. On the DP-28s, they actually have a cone, a flash hider. It's really just more of a loudener, as people like to call it, because it doesn't really do much. And then right here, you got your gas system right behind it. Comes in here and pushes back on the piston, operating the whole mechanism.
Which Water War actually nailed.
Charging handle right here, reciprocating, just like the FG-42. All the way back, open bolt so it stays open, and when you pull that trigger, it's going to release the bolt forward, causing it to fire.
From what I can tell, Water War did nail the open bolt system. It's proven on the reload. Whenever he inserts the magazine back, he doesn't have to rack the bolt back, therefore knowing the bolt's open. But when mounted, it's got a non-reciprocating bolt, which is completely inaccurate. It must be a bipod at mounting error. Let's see if Water War got the Russian machine guns accurate.
Hey, Let's just shoot this thing.
World at War nailed the real-life fire rate and muzzle flash of the in-game counterpart.
And this thing freaking works!
As long as heart of the sun
Things change. As heroes,
Let's do the next gun. Ready? You guys ready for some German space magic? The Fallschirmjägergewehr's Violent Fiercest, also known as the FG-42, full tap 20-round magazine, pretty much an LMG.
Not exactly an LMG, it fits more in the same category as the BAR. It's an automatic rifle or battle rifle, but it's close. World at War got around it by calling it a fully automatic machine gun, which is kind of a double saying of the same thing. Now, World at War has the Type 1 FG-42, in real life we have the Type 2. There were two major distinct differences, the handle and the stock. So for comparison purposes, it's not exactly apples to apples, more like apples to an apple grape. But they're close enough, so. World at War actually had two available attachments for the FG-42, the bipod and the telescopic sight. The real life one had an integrated bipod, which is just unfolded. But in World at War, you have to equip it as an attachment. And you could actually get the FG-42 without a bipod, and it actually leaves the bayonet exposed, which is funny enough is not an attachment for the FG-42 in World at War. So they got that wrong, but they got it right at the same time. That's just kind of a weird one. Now something I did notice World at War got wrong was deployment of the bipod. Watch. See how the bipod deploys rear towards the handguard? And ours deploys outwards toward the barrel? Well, they actually got that right because the Type 1 FG-42 did deploy just like that at the rear handguard. So, just another difference between the Type 1 and Type 2. This is going to give me Type 3.
Diabetes.
We'll make it work. Now, the telescopic sight actually reduced your accuracy somehow, but increased your range. And it looks like the one in World at War is based off of the ZFG-42 scope. But just in the way it's mounted, it actually looks like the ZF4 scope, which is used universally between the FG-42, G-43, and the SG, and also the Kar 98 throughout the later Type 2 World War II deals. Now, as you can see, the reticles are not actually accurate. World at War did look like they messed up on it. Woohoo! Real life wins again. Let's break down some of these attachments. Muzzle brake for reducing recoil. Only difference is it's Type 1. Vented handguard to allow air to cool the barrel. Handguard notch to protect fingers.
For in case you put your hand back here, this charging handle is called what's reciprocating, meaning it moves back and forth as it fires.
I can't tell if it's reciprocating in World at War, but of course mounted it doesn't, just like all the other guns. It's a weird bipod feature. Another weird feature is the reload. So in real life you have to rock it in kind of like an AK, but in the game he drops it straight in as if it was a straight fed mag. World War did a great job on the iron sight. But enough of that, let's see how this thing shoots compared to the game.
Also known as the FG-42, full tap 20-round magazine. Let's let this thing rip.
Fire rate and muzzle flash are perfect. World at War nailed it!
Heck yeah, man! That's it. I think it's like no recoil. What a smooth short gun. Man, we're done. Yep.
M1919 Browning.
Indeed, the 1919 A4 machine gun. This was of course designed by John Moses Browning, the same designer for the Browning automatic rifle. The machine gun variant only had one attachment, the bipod.
Medium machine gun. Now what's really cool about this thing is it's a fully automatic belt-fed 30-06. And it is very, very heavy. You would not have soldiers running around with this thing.
World War got this kind of right. It gave you some mobility, which I think is completely wrong. This thing is so heavy. You can barely sprint with that. It's crazy.
So right here's your front sight. Boom right there. And the rear sight's right here.
It's got the same bar.
Very similar to the bar.
Who would have guessed the Browning 1919 and the BAR both have the same sight pictures? It's the same guys. But World War changed it by actually letting you open it and use the open version of the sight. So you'll see they don't use the aperture, but they use it open-faced. So you're kind of aiming, it counts. And actually when you're shooting, I noticed they showed the belt links flying out too through the ejection. It's pretty cool. They don't fly up, they fly out. They look just like the real life ones. But they're not higher up on the real life 30-06. In the game, they're like halfway through on the cartridge, which isn't accurate. And would actually hinder feeding in the real life Browning.
Your whole belt, your top cover, excuse me, for actually loading the gun. A little stiff, if you can open it. Right there. In World of War, it's not stiff at all. Actually, every time you shoot, the top cover comes up, which would cause a feeding failure every shot. And this is where you load your belt. Right here, this one's the 308 converter.
Right before I close it, I put a little extractor on that casing to lock it in. And with the 1919 being a closed bolt machine gun, put the belt in, properly place that extractor, close the lid, and then rack that bolt. World War starts the reload by racking the bolt and then putting the belt in, and not even close the extractor properly. They just slam it on, unaligned. It's not. World War almost is the opposite of what you're supposed to. Alright, now let's see how this thing compares to the game and real life. World War nails its fire rate, its sound, its muzzle flash, it's perfect.
It may be heavy, but man, does it hold that recoil good! Holy cow! What a freaking awesome gun, dude! Let's move on to the next one. The MG42.
World War called it a heavy machine gun, which is kind of accurate because it was a general purpose machine gun, so it kind of did everything.
Good. The MG42. Oh, this is a crazy cool gun.
And the MG42 only had a bipod with it. Okay.
Right below it, right here, we got the bipod, which you just pinch, pull out, and it deploys.
World War had the bipod deployment right, but man, they just didn't have the flopping stop that the MG42 has, that flipping rotation bipod. And the way it folds back up is wrong too. It should fold in a collapsed position. And another thing, actually, with the clamps up, that means you didn't rotate the bipod, because the bipod needs to be rotated to sit forward on something.
Now you see how it wiggles down but stops going forward? If you want to change that, you rotate it. Just like that, so you can actually push into it and keep it solid. Right here we got the rear sight as well. But you can adjust for elevation right here from 0 meters all the way up to 2,000.
Wonderful!
And we got, of course, our flip up front sight. You can pull down and deploy. And also on the rear sight, this is for the AA sight. So this would be your rear sight for the giant net in front, and this would be your center dot, and line it in the center up there for the anti-air.
World War nailed its iconic sight. It looks just like it looks in the game. Good job.
Alright, here's your charging handle, and this is an open bolt machine gun, so you have to have the bolt back to get ready to fire.
So World War got this wrong pretty bad. He still racks the bolt even after putting in the mag without putting in the belt too. But they did get something else right. When it's mounted on the bipod, it's not reciprocating, so that's correct.
Here's your belt carrier. This isn't a drum mag. All it does is carry a belt, and you have your little metal tab out here, so you can put that metal tab right here, and it goes all the way to the other side of the gun, so you can literally, when you insert this in the gun, if you do it right, there we go, that metal tab would go right here, and you'd literally pull it, and that would engage the belt with the action, causing it to be ready to fire.
In World at War, it's treated completely different. It's as if it was just a magazine, no belt implementation at all. So C-Man can show you how to reload in real life without a belt. You got it. Dude, you got it.
Make sure that's aligned properly.
Yay! Woo!
Let's see if I can get that belt in.
You make it look so easy in the game.
I know, right? They just pop it in like it's nothing. Here, let's do this.
Let's see what World at War did compared to real life.
This thing's got a pretty infamous reputation. Let's see why.
World at War is a little slow, but they pretty much nailed it. Well, not everything's right. They got disintegrating belt links in World at War, and the fire rate is too slow. Now, the original MG42 had non-disintegrating belt links.
Make it, my friend. You'll always.
Alright guys, that was World at War LMGs in real life. What a privilege to do, and man did they do a good job. World at War really knew what they were talking about with each and every gun, including the damage, fire rate, accuracy, reload time. Now of course it's a video game, they do everything perfect, like the weight for example, especially with this guy right here. And this one, the 1919, is definitely one of my favorites. Definitely my favorite choice in zombies. I'll always have this in the N2 flamethrower, just in the catwalk with my friends burning them out, dude. And shooting them with this thing, just do as long as I can. Oh, I love this gun. Alright guys, well that's it for today. C-Man Land out.